You're watching Readish. If you love getting lost in great stories, subscribe now and give this video a thumbs up. Now, let's buckle up for Shakespeare's Macbeth.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are really buckling up for a dark one. We're plunging into one of the absolute pillars of drama, Shakespeare's Macbeth.
And our mission here is to do a little more than just a plot summary. We're looking at the engine of this tragedy, especially this weirdly funny correlation our sources point out.
Which is what?
That Shakespeare's tragedies, well, they tend to be more historically accurate, and there's one thing you can always count on.
Kings in his plays never turn out very well.
They never, ever do. And Macbeth really upholds that tradition.
He sure does. So we start this thing not in a castle, but on a battlefield. There's a war going on.
Right. And Scotland's just won, basically because of two generals, Macbeth and Banquo. We're introduced to them as these incredible war heroes, through the eyes of a wounded soldier.
So they're established from the get-go as loyal, brave, the best of the best.
And as a reward for that, the king, Duncan, he gives Macbeth a huge promotion. The old Thane of Cawdor was a traitor. A naughty boy, as one source put it.
So that title now belongs to Macbeth. A huge political step up.
But before he even finds that out, he and Banquo run into the real catalysts for all of this.
The three witches, or as our sources hilariously describe them, sinister nurses.
Right. And they drop this bombshell of a prophecy. They call him Thane of Glamis, which he is.
Then Thane of Cawdor, which he doesn't know he is yet.
And then the big one, thou shalt be king hereafter.
And they don't leave Banquo out. They tell him he won't be king.
But his children will be, which immediately sets up this, this political tension based entirely on something that hasn't even happened.
And here is the absolute kicker, the thing that makes it all real. Before he could even process this, soldiers show up.
And they tell him, hey, congratulations, you're the new Thane of Cawdor.
That immediate confirmation, that's the moment, isn't it? It's the aha that makes the whole supernatural thing feel plausible.
Exactly. It plants the seed. If that part was true, then maybe the kingship is real too. The trap is sprung.
Okay, so let's unpack that, because Macbeth's first reaction is honestly the best decision he makes in the whole play.
It really is. He decides, if it's going to happen, it'll happen without me. He says he'd rather not get mixed up in a bunch of supernatural shenanigans.
He chooses inaction, which is a great, honorable choice.
That he abandons almost immediately.
Because politics gets in the way. We cut to King Duncan, who's talking about how much he trusted the last Thane of Cawdor. Just a bit of irony there.
A huge bit. And then he drops a real obstacle in Macbeth's path. He names his son, Malcolm, the Prince of Cumberland.
Which is basically naming him the official heir.
Right. And that grates on Macbeth. Because now there's someone standing between him and the throne the witches promised. The path isn't clear anymore.
He tries not to think about it, but the thought is there. And if he needed a little push...
He gets a giant shove from his wife.
Enter Lady Macbeth. She gets a letter from him explaining everything that's happened.
And her reaction is immediate and completely ruthless. She doesn't see moral conflict. She sees a goal and a direct path.
She's worried he's too much of a flake, as one source puts it, too full of the milk of human kindness to do what needs to be done.
And then fate, or just good luck, hands her the perfect opportunity. King Duncan is coming to stay the night at their castle.
And she decides then and there...
He's not leaving alive.
Which leads to that incredible unsex me here moment. She calls on evil spirits to strip away her femininity.
Yeah, she sees her womanly sensitivities, pity, guilt, all of that as a weakness. An obstacle to the murder she needs to orchestrate. She's basically asking to be made into a monster so she can do this.
It's a terrifying glimpse into her ambition.
Yeah, and it sets the stage for the regicide.
So Macbeth gets home, they have this beautiful reunion, and she immediately starts trying to convince him.
But he's having second thoughts. He actually has this little monologue where he weighs the pros and cons.
And he decides against it. He concludes it's a terrible idea.
For about 5 seconds. Then Lady Macbeth comes in and just verbally smacks him around until he agrees.
She questions his courage, his manhood, everything. It's a masterclass in manipulation.
An incredibly unhealthy one, but effective. So the plan is set. They'll kill Duncan tonight, get his guards drunk, and frame them with the daggers.
But before the act itself, Macbeth's mind, it starts to break.
The dagger scene. He sees a floating dagger pointing him toward Duncan's room. And whether it's real or not doesn't really matter.
No, it's a symbol, right? of his ambition and his madness just taking over.
He's gone bat guano nuts, as one source colorfully put it.
The murder happens off screen, thankfully.
Right.
But when he comes back, he is a wreck, a total post-murder freakout.
He can't even say amen. And worse, he forgot to leave the daggers. He brought the murder weapons back with him.
A rookie mistake. Lady Macbeth has to tell him to man up, and she takes the daggers back.
Yeah.
And just then, they hear it.
Lots of knocking.
That knocking is just brilliant. The outside world, its justice, its consequence, just pounding on the door.
And at the door is Macduff. He's here to see the king. Macbeth tries to play it cool and points him to the room.
Where Macduff finds the horrified king. The crime is out. And now the cover-up begins.
And this is where the political maneuvering really gets intense. Chaos breaks out.
So Banquo finds the two guards covered in blood, and Macbeth makes a, let's say, a questionable move.
A very questionable move. He says he killed them, just right then and there.
His excuse being, I was grieving, dude.
But Macduff, who's clearly the sharpest guy in the room, he immediately picks up on something.
He says, wait a minute, when did you kill them?
Exactly. You didn't know the king was dead when I got here. I was the one who found him. The timing is impossible.
Macbeth is caught, he's cornered, and who saves him?
Lady Macbeth, with a very convenient, very womanly fit of fainting.
A perfect distraction. It pulls all the attention away from her husband's terrible lie.
And in all this chaos, the king's sons, Malcolm and Donalbain, they make a run for it. They realize they're probably next on the killer's list.
It's a smart personal move, but politically, it's a disaster.
Oh, absolutely. They flee, and suddenly all suspicion falls on them. It looks like they paid the guards to kill their own father.
Which is perfectly clears the way for Macbeth. The heirs are gone, presumed guilty. Who's next in line?
The great war hero. Macbeth is crowned King of Scotland.
But you just know this isn't the end. The source material is very clear. Whoa. No. This tragedy still has some steam.
Yeah, being king doesn't bring him peace. It just brings paranoia. He can't stop thinking about the other part of the prophecy.
Banquo's sons.
Banquo's sons are supposed to be kings, which means Macbeth has damned his soul just to put someone else's family on the throne.
So he decides on another killing spree, mostly for his own peace of mind.
And this is where we see that fascinating role reversal between him and Lady Macbeth.
He becomes the savagely murder-happy one.
While she is hit with a sudden attack of conscience, she's got the crown and she realizes it was all for nothing. She wants to back down.
But he's a runaway train now. He sends murderers after Banquo and his young son Fleance.
Banquo dies this horrible death, but, and this is a huge but, Fleance escapes.
Which means the prophecy is still alive, the threat is still out there.
And this news sends Macbeth spiraling. Right at his own coronation banquet, he hears Fleance got away, and he just snaps.
This is the ghost scene. Banquo rises from the grave to crash the party.
And conveniently enough, no one else can see him.
So Macbeth is just yelling at an empty chair, having a complete public freakout.
Lady Macbeth tries to cover for him, oh, he has these fits all the time, don't worry about it.
But he's just screaming the iambic pentameter version of, come at me, bro, at a ghost. The damage is done.
Everyone leaves, and we see Lady Macbeth start to go a wee bit crazy herself. And we also learn a key piece of information.
Macduff has gone to England to find Malcolm and get help.
The opposition is officially forming.
Which sends Macbeth right back to his original source of information.
The 3 freestyling witches. He needs more prophecies, more certainty.
And they give him 3 more. First, watch out for Macduff. Okay, fair enough.
Second, no man born from a woman will be able to kill him.
And third, he'll only be defeated when Great Burnham Wood goes to Dunsinane Hill. A forest has to literally get up and move.
So Macbeth hears this and he's delighted. He thinks, awesome, I got nothing to worry about.
He takes it all completely literally.
But he has one more question. He has to know, will Banquo's children ever rule?
And the witches show him this awful vision, a line of kings all looking like Fleance, followed by Banquo's ghost.
It confirms his deepest fear. Even if he wins, his legacy is nothing. So he adopts a new philosophy.
No more thinking, just immediate violent action. His first move, kill Macduff's entire family.
An act of pure, unadulterated terror. It's the point where he goes from political tyrant to just a monster.
And this act is what finally seals his fate. Macduff and Malcolm are in England when the news arrives.
Macduff is just stunned. But then that grief turns into rage. He decides right then, we're invading Scotland. And Malcolm agrees.
The stage is set for the final act. All the prophecies are about to come home to roost.
And back in Scotland, Lady Macbeth has officially gone off her rocker.
She's sleepwalking, trying to wash imaginary blood off her hands. Macbeth just tells the doctor to cure her. Crazy.
And the doctor says basically that's not how psychology works.
Meanwhile, Macbeth is completely bonkers himself. He refuses to hear any more battle reports because he knows he can't lose, unless a forest moves.
And in Birnam Wood, Malcolm has a great idea. He tells every soldier to cut down a branch and carry it.
As camouflage, so they can hide their numbers as they march on Dunsinane Hill.
Hands up if you see where this is going.
A messenger runs to Macbeth, terrified, and says he saw Birnam Wood begin to move, the first prophecy loophole.
Macbeth flips out, but he's still clinging to that last bit of security.
No man born of a woman.
Then we hear Lady Macbeth is dead. Off-screen. A quiet end. And Macbeth confronts Macduff for the final showdown.
He's still so arrogant. He tells him, "You can't kill me. You were born from a woman."
And Macduff delivers the all-time great plot twist.
Plot twist, I was a cesarean baby. Yeah, but...
He was from his mother's womb untimely ripped. He wasn't technically born in the normal way.
The second loophole. Macbeth's last defense is shattered. They fight. Macbeth dies. And Malcolm becomes king. Happily ever after for Scotland.
A return to order. But the lessons from the tragedy, they really linger.
So if we pull it all together, the big takeaway seems to be about fate. Macbeth tried to force fate, and in doing so, he actually caused his own downfall.
Exactly. He made it all happen. Those two loopholes, the moving forest, the C-section, they show that prophecy is tricky. It's about interpretation. And he chose the most arrogant, literal reading possible.
He traded his soul for a crown and got nothing but misery.
Which brings us to a final provocative thought for you to chew on. Think about that vision the witches showed Macbeth, that long line of kings descending from Banquo.
Lance and his descendants.
Right. So Malcolm is king now. Order is restored. But if that prophecy is true, the one Macbeth believed in so fiercely,
then the rightful heirs, according to fate, are still out there, waiting.
So is the instability really over? What does that mean for the kingdom, knowing another royal line is destined to take over? A terrifying thought. We've gone deep. Thanks for diving with us.